3. What's up, YouTube, tube. I am Grace Pamela Rieger.
I am Ella Grace Schumacher.
And today we are going to be answering questions from shows we've been in.
It's true.
Because we're both theater people and we're both going to college for theater things. So basically how it works is that each of us have come up with 6 shows. Actually, we each guessed 6 shows that the other person's been in. And we have labeled them 1 through 6, and we have a dice. And so when we land on the dice, we have to correspond the numbers. So if I landed on a 2, my number 2 is anything goes. So then I'd have to answer one of our pre-written questions from Anything Goes. The first question is, what was a bad stage malfunction you had in this show? 3.
Spam a lot. So the quick change going into the French citizen scene.
Yep.
That was always torturous. I remember this one time I put my corset on.
Because you had to get into a corset for it.
Yeah, because I had to change my tights, my shoes, I had to put a skirt on, an undershirt, a corset, and a headband, and take off my jewelry. So it was like torture, and it was awful. And this one time I was putting the corset on, and no one was helping me, and I put it on upside down, and I like undid it and tried to make it go right, and so then I was trying to do it, but it was like tied, and so then I couldn't like do it because it was already like cinched to me, so I was like, somebody's help me untie it. But then, so then we did it, and then I had to like pull it and fix it. Everyone was out of the dressing room, and it was like all the French citizens were already gone, and like it was the people that were coming back into the dressing room that were coming in now, and then they were like in my space, and I was like, everyone needs to get out of my way right now. So I'm like getting the corset on, and then I'm like, okay, put the headband on. I smear my bright red lipstick across my face. I'm like, oh no. So I'm like trying to find a paper towel, I'm like wiping it off, and like it's still kind of smudged, but like it's whatever. And I go out on stage, and I literally got there the second we were going on. It was so stressful.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, because like no one noticed. Everyone just left me.
6. Nemo, no, I didn't want to go. Oh my god, I'm not a bad person. This is your disclaimer. I'm not a bad person. So during Finding Nemo, I was one of the sharks. I was Chum. There's Bruce, Anchor, and Chum. And Chum's the one that has like the hook in its nose.
Oh, yeah.
He's like the skinny one and whatever.
Skinny.
And he's a skinny legend. We had these puppets we had to operate. These like big, massive puppets. They were probably about 10 pounds. They went over our shoulder, and they were like on a dowel. So it was like puppet, or this was like the dowel, and then you had like the puppet up here. And to get the puppet to like move and like look real, you had to like twist the stick in such a way, and like you had to be like very fluid. And as a puppeteer, like I had a lot of training with it. And we'd have days where we like legit, all 3 of the sharks would go out and we'd just practice and practice and practice. The issue with these puppets was that they would give you a blind spot because they would rest like just right above your shoulder or on your shoulder in some cases. So like we had this big number called Fish Are Friends Not Food. It was a big number, and it was like the 3 sharks, and then we had like 2 extra sharks who didn't have puppets. And then we had, and they were like just dressed up as sharks. And then we had like a bunch of fish, and they were all like our fish friends. And there's this one part where we would get into the kick line. This was the day after opening, and our show had issues during opening because like just things like costumes and props and things were not ready. I think our first time with full costumes and props was opening night. Well, in Finding Nemo, we had a cast member who was 60% blind. We had done so much to like make sure like we're inclusive, and we make sure like we know her disability, and like we had like special protocols and stuff just to make sure that she was gonna be okay. So we get out of this kick line, and my foot, again, I can't see where I'm going. My foot reaches out a little too far and trips her, and I can't stop the number to help her up because I'm carrying this 10-pound puppet over my head. So that's the story about the time I accidentally dripped a blind girl. Again, I'm not a bad person. I really didn't mean to.
We forgive.
This question is, what was the hardest part of this show?
Annie.
What was the hardest part about Annie?
Working with Miss McAllister.
Oh, do you have any beef you'd like to share with us with that, or?
So this this show is Annie, and Annie was actually really, really fun. I remember everything very fondly. I think it was fun.
Except for her.
Except for Miss McAllister. This one time, my friend was having like an anxiety attack. And mind you, it was like 3 hours before the show was actually like starting. It was like opening night. And I was like trying to help her calm down and whatever. Miss McAllister comes over, she's like, Grace, you're supposed to be backstage. And I was like, yeah, but like I'm not on stage until like an hour from now. So like I think it's fine.
Yeah.
And she was like, this is I can cut you from the show. We don't need you in the show. I will cut you. And I was like, you're not going to cut me.
Okay, 2. Don't look at it. Anything goes. The worst part of Anything Goes. And I love the way it looked on me. It was those dresses that we wore at the top for Blow Gabriel.
Oh,
I hated those dresses.
With like the robes?
Hated them because we would come off stage from doing Anything Goes and I'd be hot and sweaty. But my biggest stressor of the show was Anything Goes into Blow Gabriel, because we'd get out of those sweaty costumes and then I'd have to change my tights and get into I didn't change my tights. I'd have to like take it all off and get into that tight corseted costume, and the sequins would like rip out my flesh. And then we had to get the jewelry on, and I had to like touch up my wig and whatever. And then halfway through changing, we had to go do the lift call in the black box. So like I wouldn't be ready, and they'd be like, "Okay, lift call right now. Go change, like go right now." And it's like, I'm not ready yet. And then we go do the lift call, and they'd be like, "Okay, it's places time." And it's like, I'm not ready yet, because the act 2 opened up and we were standing on the stage. So I hated that costume. I hated the corset. It looked so good on me, but it just like tore out my armpits. The next question is, say a line from the show. This will be quick, hopefully.
3, Spam-A-Lot.
6, Nemo. Oh my god.
Nemo!
Looks like you stumbled upon a little party we're having. Did you break someone on stage?
Oliver. I did. Mark. Okay, because there's the one scene where Mark, who was playing
Bumble.
Anyways,
You made a break.
the one scene where Mark was like, "We know the boy, whatever, here's the locket," and I like yelled at him. He would, something about the way that I would move my face and the way he would move his face, we would always like kind of like smile, because he looked stupid because he had a stupid facial hair. And then I would go like this to him, because he was like, we should get paid, and I'm like, I'm not paying you.
No.
But yeah, so I mean, he didn't like fully break, but he would smile sometimes.
Spam-A-Lot. Whenever I would do the thing at the end of Bright Side of Life with Mark, because I changed it every night.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if that was breaking him, but it was definitely like,
I'm sure it would throw him off.
what the heck are you doing? Yeah, they also found, like, during the rehearsal process, I'd make them break with Galahad all the time, because they just didn't know what I was doing 90% of the time. I think there was this one rehearsal where they were like standing on the other side of the stage giving like a monologue to Easton, and I was like, I don't even know what I was doing. I was doing something really random though. Yeah, so I'd say that. What was the worst part of Tech Week for this show? You gotta roll.
5, Little Mermaid. Oh my god. Oh, okay, so I did Little Mermaid with Buns Performing Arts during the summer, while also doing Showcase, and this was going into junior. Mind you, Little Mermaid was an outdoor theater.
Ew.
It was 90 degrees every day for Tech Week, and rehearsals went from 5 to 11:30. I was the ocean. I was the ocean. And so I was wearing these the pants were really cute. They were really big. They were like bubbles, but the fabric was really thick, and I had this net shirt on with like these plastic bubbles hot glued on, and I'm dancing in like the humid 90-degree weather. Mind you, the ocean is on stage the entirety of the first act. So we get off for like intermission, whatever, and I'm finally like, yes, I'm gonna go drink water. And then they're like, here, wait, Ocean, can you come with us? Because the Ocean's the featured dancers. So they take us back on over to where the stage is. And mind you, behind the stage is like a marsh. And so there's like mud and like mosquitoes everywhere. And they're like, we're gonna practice this dance again. We had a 20-minute long break, and the whole time I spent dancing. I didn't get any water. That day, I got so many mosquito bites. I would say that was the worst part of Tech Week.
3, Lend Me a Tenor. This was our one act, so this was a little harder because Tech Week,
It's like always Tech Week.
it's always Tech Week. And I'm like trying to figure out when Tech Week actually started versus like, because
it's like a weird gradual
and it was
shift.
weird because Tech Week also counts as like moving and setting up the set. I'm gonna say Trent. I'm gonna say our director. And not because he was mean or anything, but because he just had so much stress during the one act season, and that stress fed into me a lot. And it was just like, it was very hard because it was like, I have no clue what version of him we're going to get today. He's either going to be very excited, very energetic, or he's going to be terrified and angry and nervous. So like, I never really knew walking in what mood he was going to be in for the day. And then like days he would like call out actors and they're like, this actor is the greatest actor I've ever seen in my life. And then the next day that same actor would be getting random notes that like did not add up. And it was like, okay. Our director was the worst part. And this is not my worst tech week ever. Again, because I really don't know where tech week started and ended.
Yeah, well, because the one act is hard.
It's hard, yeah. But I'd say his stress, because I'd leave rehearsal crying for multiple reasons, but like especially during tech week. Cause
Did you ever cry during rehearsal?
No, it was always after. Next question is, what role did you wish you could have played in this show?
Little Mermaid. I really wanted to be the chef, like
well,
the main
that would have been
chef,
good for you.
But it was fun. But the guy who was the chef was the guy that went to the Jimmy's.
This last time?
No, the summer I did Little Mermaid.
Oh.
Because, I don't know, it was the year Lillian did the Jimmy's.
Oh, fun.
So, yeah, I got to finish it with both of them, which is pretty fun.
That's both Jimmy and
really
Emily's.
good.
One, Oliver. I mean, I really loved Sourberry.
So
Sourberry was so much fun, especially because I got to like abuse Vinny.
That was the
Which
best
he's
part.
fine with, because me and Vinny are best friends. Vinny came to my grad party. But like, I've known Vinny for so long, and I love Vinny so much. So it was fun like tormenting him. But I feel like I'd eat up like a gender-bent female version of Fagin.
Oh.
I think I'd just have a lot of fun with that role, because then like you're like the kooky, but you're also diva, and like you have a bunch of secrets. So I think like a female version of Fagin would be like really cool.
Okay. What's your favorite show out of the lineup, and what's your favorite memory from it?
Okay. You want to go first?
Sure. Well, my favorite show is Land of the White Foreheads, but I'm gonna share a memory from Spam-A-Lot because I love Spam-A-Lot.
I thought you hated that show.
Yeah, but it was fun to be it for like my final.
Yeah, it was
thing,
a fun
you know.
summer show.
And I really liked how many scenes we got to be in together.
That was so
It
much
was so fun to like spend so much time with you, and like I know that. Oh, and then in the Camelot song when we got our little lesbian.
lesbian.
I love our lesbian moments, and I'm so sad we can do it.
And the day that I shoved the necklace down my bra.
Oh yeah, that was so special.
That was so special.
I lost my earring on the final night. I have no idea where.
That happened to me and Adam's family. I lost my necklace.
I stole my necklace.
Oh really?
Don't tell my story.
My favorite show, unfortunately, is not a show that you were in with me.
Aww.
But I really
She
liked
makes
Lend
me-
Me a Tenor only because I gotta be this sassy Italian diva. And I gotta boss everybody around and be so angry and yell at everybody and then pretend to... My favorite thing that our director said was, Ella, look at this couch and then look at Mark. You are trying to seduce Mark by looking at this couch. And I'm just like... Cool.
She
But
seduced
that was
Mark.
just... I
She
did
did it.
I did. But I love that show. I love that cast. We were robbed, but I would go back and do anything for that show. But I did really enjoy doing Spam-A-Lot or Oliver with you, and like we'd be in the audience coming up with like the dramatic story between Sourberry and Brownell, and how Sourberry was. That's a video for another day.
We could do a whole.
Thing book about that.
Yeah.
We should. We should write a
should.
book about it.
We should.
Yeah. Anyway. Okay. Thank you for watching. We hope that
Thank
you like
you.
Theater Kids. We're gonna go eat our pizza now.
We are.
Bye vlog.
Bye vlog.